everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and a very special makeup Sunday night coffee stream. I didn't get a chance to do a stream on Friday because the youngest guy is sick, and I am about 99% sure that he's going to be home tomorrow again. So I figured I would do a stream tonight going over a bunch of the stuff that Pincalo has sent me. I've collected a good chunk of stories, and I figured I would go over them tonight since I most likely would not be able to go over them tomorrow. And so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So we are here, and it's 10:30 ish, and let's get going. Welcome, Ghost Dog, to the show. I hope everyone that comes is having a good weekend, getting ready for another week. And yeah, so it's been very interesting. We've got a lot of why the fuck am I being asked to sign into Twitter? That's annoying. Okay. Let's see if I can remember my goddamn password. Let's see. Let's see here. Please let that be the right password. Hey! I remembered my password. Go Blind Press. Okay. Apparently, for some reason, the Chrome extension, or my Chrome, like when it updated, it forgot all of my stuff. That's frustrating. Thank you very much, Chrome. That was very helpful of you. Okay, let's see here. We're going to go backwards. So the most recent stuff first. That's what we're going to do here. Okay. So our first article is going to be from the Toronto Sun. All right, let's get this shared. Wait, why am I kicked out of StreamYard now? What happened to StreamYard? What happened to StreamYard? What the fuck happened to StreamYard? That was weird. Like, it wouldn't show me StreamYard. That was strange. All right. Chrome, you're being weird. Okay. Wait. Wait, what the fuck? What the hell? What the hell is going on? Okay, what the fuck is going on here? Okay, there's Twitter. There's StreamYard. Okay, why was Chrome being so weird and hiding StreamYard from me? I'm sorry, guys. Chrome just did something really weird, and I went to go share my screen and I could not find the studio page. And then it wanted to have me come in again. Yeah, it was just weird. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again. I'm sorry, guys. My Chrome just did something weird. Hey, Costin. Sleep is evil, yes. What is this sleep we speak of? Sleep is what is this sleep that we are talking about? Okay. Let's try this again, shall we? There we go. Okay. Share screen. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness. So we have a Chrome tab. So here we go. This is a Fury article and not Nick Fury. This this guy is a columnist for the Toronto Sun. His last name is also Fury, but every time I see him, I go Nick Fury. No, stop it. All right. So let's take a gander here. Get to the headline. So this headline says the Trudeau Liberals remain obsessed with censoring internet. Yes, because we now have this wonderful proposed bill. The bill, I think it's C11, where and Runkle of the Bailey, he's a Canadian lawyer, YouTuber. He did a really good breakdown of this Bill C11. It's basically a revamped, we want to push Canadian YouTube content. And it's going to really screw with the metrics and analytics of Canadian YouTubers and really not help them at all. Honestly, it is basically a repeat of what they did to Canadian content that was mainstream, that was movies, music, television shows. There's a law that says radio stations have to play, I think it's something like 35% at least Canadian content. I think it's something similar with television stations. And the way that it really ended up killing the Canadian entertainment industry. And it really ended up making everybody just go to the States. Before this happened, we had a huge flourishing music industry. Like, we were really well known musically, we were really well known film wise. A lot of things were filmed up here. It was just, yeah, Chrome being Chrome. Yep. Yeah, it's a stupid bill, this Canadian content for YouTube uh, bill. So this article says 1 year ago there was a lot of noise about the federal liberal government, Jesus Christ, looking for ways to regulate internet content and effectively give themselves power um, to censor people's social media posts. So he's referencing Bill C10 here. And I just dropped my phone on my shirt. Okay. So yeah, he's referencing Bill C10 in that sentence, which we also covered here What was then known is that Bill C-10, or what was unknown was that Bill C-10 was seen as a backing way to bring creeping censorship, a backdoor way to bring creeping censorship by bringing the Canadian Radio, Television, and Communications Commission, the CRTC, the powers to regulate what they termed user generated content posted online, the same way that the body now governs, like I said, the mainstream content, the radio, the television, the movies. And that's exactly what Bill C-10 was attempting to do. So now we've got Bill C-11. The concerns appeared across the media landscape and political spectrum where fear the concerns appeared across the media landscape, the political spectrum, with free speech is at risk with Ottawa's attempts to censor online content, experts warned in a headline over at the CBC. What then unfolded was that experts in the field pointed out the flaws of the legislation, and the Liberals said that it would be revised to address concerns. All good, nothing here to see here, folks. Controversy averted. Haha. Controversy is never averted with this government. Like never, ever, ever averted. So yeah, that's funny. Except it's not over. It's only getting crazier. The Trudeau government's plans to censor the internet are back with a vengeance. And now they're using Russia's invasion of Ukraine as a pretext to pushing Canadians into going along with it. What's that? You mean Trudeau is using the backs of other people to push his own agenda? Never. That he would never do such a thing. It's not like he stood on the backs of Indigenous people to get elected. No, 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 no. He didn't do that at all. No, that Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly has made multiple statements to this effect these past couple weeks. Gotta skip through this video. Okay. Social media companies need to do more to prevent propaganda and to counter any form of disinformation, Jolie said at an event in the University of Toronto's Monk School 2 weeks ago. The problem is it's not only happening in Russia, it's happening in virtual battlegrounds. On new virtual battlegrounds, which are social media companies, she added. That is very interesting, very carefully chosen language that is absolutely disgusting. In Blind Press, your government is like a high school girl in the teen movies. Yeah. A few days later, she appeared at the House of Commons Foreign Affairs Committee and was served up a question by a Liberal MP on the panel about countering Russian disinformation. Social media companies need to do more, said Jolie, as part of her answer. They need to make sure that they recognize that states have jurisdiction over them. Oh boy. And that they are not technology platforms, but content producers. Wait. Social media companies need to do more, said Jolie as part of her answer. They need to make sure they recognize states have jurisdiction over them and that they're not technology platforms, but that they are content producers. It is really all we can do to make sure that we fight this battle and fight for our democracy, because the war is being waged with 21st century tools, and that includes social media. Wow. Wow. That's just Jesus Christ. This is, if this wasn't happening so close to home, this would be like cartoon supervillain levels of obvious ridiculousness of, like, do you know what I mean? But it's scary that they are that blatant, and that there are still people that won't see it. It's terrifying. See what they're doing here? They argue correctly that Vladimir Putin propaganda machine is pushing false narratives. But then in the next breath, make the massive leap that but then in the next breath, they make the massive leap that the solution is to bring in permanent changes to Canadian legislation that will impact things that have nothing to do with the war in Ukraine. Yeah, exactly. Because they don't want us to criticize them, but they're going to use the war in Russia to just make their own, like Ghost Dog says, wow, the word salad. And how dare people just make up their own mind, right? Jolie reportedly plans to announce more formal measures soon, and you can bet that their the cons plan is to denounce anyone. Wait, Jolie plans to announce more formal measures soon, and you can bet the cons plan is. Oh, and you can bet that their plan is to denounce anyone who has a problem with censoring internet in Canada is a pro Putin stooge. Yep. The question is how regular Canadians will respond and if they'll see through it. If the widespread reaction last year to the proposed legislation was any indication, there will still be intense blowback. The Heritage Department released in February reveal that they received 9,218 submissions responding to internet regulation plans, with only a small portion in support of it. The problem, though, is that the Liberals aren't just putting forward one modest piece of legislation. No, they're not. They're engaged in a multi-pronged offensive strategy. And they are, so I need to start covering more of what's going on in the House of Commons again, because there's a lot of things that are being pushed through, like last minute and stuff like that. And I need to actually go to the CPAC website and like watch the videos and stuff through there, and find out like show what's being passed and stuff like that, because it's crazy. We need more speech laws to keep the populace from thinking for itself. Pretty much, maniac man, pretty much. So yeah, this is very interesting and very scary. There's the new version of Bill C-10, now C-11, that they quietly put forward the other month when Canadians were focused on evading the truckers' convoy. But there's also the legislation that tackles or that there's also the controversial legislation to tackle and define hate speech online, to as well as to appoint an online safety commissioner who would be able to block websites. Wow. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his Liberal government are clearly obsessed with finding ways to regulate and censor the internet and social media. Will they succeed? We shall see. Despite the ongoing concerns from experts, it will be easier for the government to continue forward now that the NDP Liberal agreement has essentially given Trudeau a majority and neutered the opposition. Yeah, it has. This is why I'm really, really just not. I'm really concerned. Hey there, Cryptic. Yeah, C11. Yeah. They ain't trying hard to censor people. Let's see here. What's the next one? Okay. So here we have our next article. Okay. Share screen. Oops. So, the boil water advisories were supposed to end for the Indigenous population in Canada last March. Okay. March 2021. They're still going. And this article kind of shows that there's really not any. Yeah, C11 is a pig with lipstick, same crap, different clothing. Yep, Cryptic, you are right. You are right, Cryptic. So this says, Haidu hopes that long-term long-term water advisories lifted by 2025, the end of the Liberal NDP coalition. Surprisingly enough, isn't that interesting? Indigenous Services Minister Patty Haidu hopes that Canada will be able to lift its remaining long-term drinking water advisories by 2025, the year a deal between the Liberal and the NDP ends. Again, they were supposed to be lifted last year. This is disgusting. Haidu has declined to put a firm deadline since coming into the role last fall, saying there are many technical challenges to the task. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, when he was first elected in 2015, promised to end all long-term drinking water advisories on reservations by March 2021, and his government failed to meet that deadline. They didn't even try. Recently, Trudeau secured what appears to be an easier path for his minority Liberal government to accomplish some of its shared priorities by entering into a deal with the New Democrats. By entering into a deal with the party that would keep him in power until 2025. So basically, and I've explained this last week, There will be no confidence votes. They will all be shot down. I know the technology needed to provide clean water. It's not hard. Just need to fund it properly. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, the look on her face of why are you talking to me? Huh. Love it. Love it, Ghost Dog. So let's see. By then, Trudeau, who was in his third term, will have been prime minister for a decade. Asked directly if the 34 remaining long-term boil water advisories could be removed by that date, Haidu responded, "I would hope so." In other words, I don't fucking care. Why are you talking to me? The quiet part of the water issue is the lack of knowledgeable maintenance workers. True. Very true. Listen, I would hope so. Look, wait, listen, I would hope so. It was a commitment that the prime minister made in 2015. I know that people were disappointed that we were not able to lift them all, and I was disappointed too, she said in a recent interview with the Canadian press. I would hope that we could do it before 2025. Realistically, I would like everyone to have clean drinking water tomorrow. Dude, we're not talking about we're not why is this acceptable until 2025? I don't know. I don't know because this is the problem. Like we're not talking about we're not talking about giving fucking tablets to people, okay? We're talking about giving drinking water to people and the indigenous people, regardless of their history with the government, regardless of, treaties and whether or not reservations are whatever, we should not have good, clean water for cities and shit water for reservations. And because they're natives, they do get below board treatment. It's disgusting. Indigenous services. Oh yeah, it put me back to the top. So yeah, that's that ridiculous. And what a bitchy way to answer that question, right? Like it's a valid question. And she's talking to them like they have no business asking, hey, is this actually going to happen? Well, I would hope so. Like, wow, bitch. You don't have to be so fucking rude. That's ridiculous. Okay, let's see. Uh, 2025 is next election. Election. Libs are passing the buck, just like every government for the last 80 years. Yep. Someone needs to give her water from one of the reserves with a boil water advisory without boiling the water. Ha! Put me on the water board, I'd make them comply. Ha ha! Nice cryptic. I see what you did there. All right, let's share this screen here. Okay. Share. All right. So apparently, the Daily Wire is making a large investment. So let's find out about what, in which, or in what. Why are, man, the New York Post sucks in its layout. Holy crap. Okay. Daily Wire investing $100 million in kids' content to battle woke Disney. Um, okay. Here's a thought. Like, there's not all the kids' content out there is freaking SJW crap. You know, parents could actually be parents and monitor what their kids are watching and make sure they don't watch things that they don't want them to watch. Like, like, today, right? My oldest son found Turning Red. Okay. And I'm like, hey, buddy, let's find something else to watch. Okay. And we found something else to watch. And that was it. I didn't make a giant, oh, my kid found a woke show. Oh my God. Fucking Disney. No, I just was like, hey, dude, let's not watch that and we'll find something else to watch. And I was a parent. Hey there, Gun Fox. Let's see here. The Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro's conservative-leaning media company says it will invest $100 million in children's content as part of a plan to create. Okay, let's try this again. I started laughing. The Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro's conservative-leaning media company says it will invest $100 million in children's content as part of a plan to combat the woke media from woke Disney. Americans are tired of giving their money to woke corporations who hate them. Huh? Do you have booze? Yeah, why? Because you don't sound like you have booze. You need more booze. Well, then refill my wine and refill my water, please. Well, my throat's sore. Hello, Spud Gun. Oh, the news section is scary over there, Gun Fox. So the Daily Wire co-CEO Jeremy Boring said they're tired of giving their money to woke media companies who want to indoctrinate their children with radical race and gender theory. Okay, but are you going to go the other way? Daily Wire? Are you going to which glass did you fill? Big one. Ah. So now you have the wine is gone. Why is the wine always gone? Because you're a winer. That doesn't sound as good as rum. Doesn't have the same ring to it. Owen! It's because... Hey, Lord Famine! I told you that, yeah. That is Pincalo. Oh, I want some wine now. Oh, dude, Oh, that's a good idea, Gunfox. I need to set up a posting robot that shows when I'm live. I need to do that. Um also Elwin, do you do Discord, right? Send me a freaking, what's it called? Friend request, and I will send you the link to the Nerd Sanctuary, because you're in it, or Functional's in it, but you're not in it. He's a bloody tank. Yes, he is. He is a tank, and he's awesome. He's a hot tank. Let's see. But they want to do more than just cancel them. They want alternatives. There are like, you don't have to. Dude, be parents. Like, there's plenty of content that you can watch that doesn't have that shit in it, or like it's very, very limited and you can counteract it, right? The problem here is that parents still want their fucking streaming service to babysit their kids. Sweet. I'll accept it afterwards, and I will send you the thing. Boring added, the Daily Wire is giving them these alternatives. Boring told Daily Wire, I'm sorry, the fact that your last name is Boring is just really funny. Boring told the Daily Wire staffers at the company will invest a minimum of $100 million over the next 3 years into a line of live action and animated children's content for the streaming platform. Daily Wire subscribers will have access to the content beginning in the spring of next year, according to Boring. Okay, but again, are you going to go the complete opposite way? So Pinkala is the root of all evil. U.S. schools are pushing people in woke shit. Yes, they're trying up here, but it's very refreshing when I read posts on my school board's Facebook page and whatever that have a woke kind of tinge to them. The overwhelming response in the comments from the parents is like, fuck you. Don't teach my kids that shit. So it's very refreshing that the parents are kind of pushing back a bit. So let's see. What's our next story? Oh, that is something that Pinkolo wanted me to watch, which I was watching. Okay, here is a Toronto Sun article. Let's see here. All right. Share screen. All right. So this is a Toronto Sun article, as I said. So, where's the headline? There's the headline. Chris Rock shuts down audience member who shouts, "Fuck Will Smith." Yeah, because Chris Rock has a lot more class than Will Smith ever did. Like, his jokes may be crass, but Chris Rock is like He's a lot classier than, like, he's got a good brain on his shoulders. I bet they go the total other way. I bet. Yeah. I'm scared of yeah, I am scared of the news section. The 57-year-old comic returned to the Wilbur in Boston for another show, and while he briefly mentioned the Oscars controversy, um, that saw the King Richard actor smacked in the face. He's in King Richard? Oh shit, I should check that out. Will Smith's in King. Okay, that saw the King Richard actor smack him in the face. Over a joke about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, the top 5 star didn't want to engage in any negativity towards Will. An audience member shouted, "Fuck Will Smith." Chris immediately replied, "Hell no, 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 no." The comedian had played 2 shows at the venue the evening before where he addressed the controversy for the first time. After asking the crowd how their weekends had been, he said he said during the first gig, "I have a whole show that I wrote before the weekend. So if you came here for that, I'm still processing it. I will talk about it, and it will be serious and it will be funny, but not tonight." I bet he wrote a whole show about that weekend. I guarantee. I called it. I called it. I knew he wrote a whole. You can't. You can't do something like that to Chris Rock and not have him write a a a, a story. I think Will and Jada are Scientologists, and when I heard that, nothing surprised me anymore. Yeah, I remember hearing that. You mean Will Bitch, not Smith? Yep. Will Smith is Chris Rock's joke bitch now. He can mock him as much as he wants. Yep. Oh, he played the father of Serena and Vanessa Williams, Richard Williams. Okay. And then at a second show at the venue hours later, Chris seemingly suggested he hasn't been in contact with Will since, despite reports that say otherwise. He said, "I haven't talked to anyone despite what you heard." Chris also told the audience he really didn't want to start about that shit. Um, sorry. He said, "I haven't talked to anyone, despite what you may have heard." Sorry. Chris also told the audience he really didn't want to talk about that shit and insisted the biggest the biggest disappointment of that week was that his daughter didn't get into the University of Southern California. That sucks. That's shitty for your daughter. Chris's comments came hours after the Academy of Motion Picture Artists and Sciences revealed Will refuse to leave the ceremony following the incident. Oh, really? The Academy said things unfolded in a way we could not have anticipated. While we would like to clarify that Mr. Smith was asked to leave the ceremony and refused, we also recognize that we could have handled the situation differently. How? How could you have handled the situation differently? It happened so fast. I thought everyone got into that university. So did I. That's just anyway. The statement also explained that while he's under investigation for the slap, the man in black star is being provided at least 15 days of a vote regarding any disciplinary action they may choose to take. The statement contained by the Hollywood Reporter the statement obtained by the Hollywood Reporter read, consistent with the Academy standards of conduct as well as California law, Mr. Smith is being provided at least 15 days of a vote regarding his violations and sanctions. Mr. Smith's actions at the 94 Oscars were a deeply shocking and traumatic event. Oh, fuck off. To witness in person and on television. It was not fucking traumatic. Just shut up. It was not fucking traumatic. They need to tranquilize the actors to keep them mentally stable. Just give them a Valium upon arrival. I like that. Chris, I guess, didn't give enough money, I guess. Maybe. Mr. Rock, we apologize to you for what you experienced on our stage, and thank you for your resilience. In that moment, we also apologize to our nominees, guests, and viewers for what transpired during what should have been a celebratory event. Yeah, so the Academy are a bunch of bitches if that was traumatizing to them, but okay. Sure. Oh, and this is going to be good. Here's a National Post article. Here we have a holy shit. Holy crap, it was an open hand slap, not a beatdown, right? Like, Chris isn't traumatized. Why is everybody else traumatized? I don't get this. If the victim isn't traumatized, why is everyone else? I don't understand. Oh my god. I just don't get it. All right. Let's see here. All right. Chrome tab. So, the Pope attempted to apologize to the Indigenous people of Canada for the residential school thing. I legit laughed. Growing up, this was called a Tuesday in high school. Yeah. Yeah. That slap wouldn't even count as a foreplay slap. No, yeah. Yeah. That was a horrible slap. That was bad. Pope utters apology that First Nation, Inuit, and Métis have been longing to hear for decades. Because when Pope Francis apologizes, everything will magically be better. The water will stop being dirty, and all the houses will magically be properly constructed. The reservations will be magically up to code. Education, employment, all of those problems, they will be magically solved for the Indigenous folk of Canada just because Pope Francis apologized. It's magical, everybody. It's magical. Rome. Tears rolled down the cheeks of residential school survivors at the Vatican after Pope Francis delivered a long-awaited apology after Pope for the Catholic Church's sorry for the Roman Catholic Church's role in the harm those institutions caused those generations of indigenous people. The fucking the pontiff stood Friday before a room of nearly 200 indigenous delegates in Sala Clementina, one of the halls of the Apostolic Palace, and asked for God's forgiveness for the deplorable conduct of church members. I want to say to you with all my heart, I am very sorry, said Francis said in Italian during the final meeting with during a final meeting with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis delegates, and I join my brothers in the Canadian bishops in asking your pardon. They flew to Rome for that. That's it. He actually has taken some accountability for the crimes of the church. Not that it does much. Right. Of all the popes, this one is the most progressively stupid. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I don't know. All the popes are pretty fucked up. You know, we've got this one who's pretty much a socialist freak. We've got the one just before him who was a Hitler youth, and we've got John Paul, you know, who made Mother Teresa a saint. You know, we've got like all the popes were that we've had have been, you know. Oh, hundreds. Spud gun. We're over 10,000 bodies now. We are over 10,000 dead kids. It's just that it's no longer it no longer brings the ratings to talk about it. So when more mass graves are discovered, it's kind of just like not really talked about. But yeah, they are still finding remains across school sites, and the last number that I heard about a month ago was 10,000 and change. It's yeah, not enough forensic osteologists to get full numbers of demographics yet. That is true, Elowen. Yeah. Yeah, there's still it's going to take a while to identify all these people and yeah. Let's see, where are we? So yeah, if I was a indigenous residential school survivor and I flew to Rome for that, pretty sure I'd be upset. Pretty sure I'd be like, that's it. Globe and Mail, I don't think I can. I'll try. Globe and Mail usually paywalls me. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, no, it's not paywalling me. All right. Yay! Okay. Sometimes the Globe and Mail yells at me and wants a freaking subscription, so I needed to check before I shared the screen. All right. So this is probably going to be our last, if not second last, article. Mother Teresa was an evil bitch. She saw the suffering of the poor as a holy thing. She wouldn't give them drugs to help them. Yep. They don't know if it was disease or what yet. Yep. I would bet money a lot of the bodies are from tuberculosis. Yeah. Indigenous women in the US and Canada are the only group not tracked by race when it comes to missing people. Yeah, you're right. You are right, Duck Dog. Absolutely right. So this headline says Trudeau criticized by some far right European members over response to Ottawa convoy protests. Did I? Let's see. Several members of the European Parliament used Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's visit to Brussels as a chance to harshly criticize his handling of the trucker convoy protests in Ottawa. In a speech to Parliament, which has 705 members, Croatian MEP Mislav Kolakusic, I think is how you pronounce it, spoke out against the Trudeau government's decision to invoke the Emergencies Act. Canada, once a symbol of the modern world, has now become a symbol of civilized violations, Kolakusic said. Mr. Kolakusic, who is an independent, also attacked Mr. Trudeau for freezing the bank accounts of those associated with the protests. In the past, the Croatian politician has compared vaccine mandates to capital punishment and said that tens of thousands of Europeans have died as a result of COVID-19 vaccines. Okay, this is where I would not. Yeah. Yeah. Spud gun, yeah. A claim that has been disproven by the European Union's drug regulator. German MEP Christine Anderson, who was a member of the far-right populist Alternative for Germany party, called Mr. Trudeau a disgrace for any democracy. A prime minister who openly admires a Chinese basic dictatorship, who tramples on fundamental rights by persecuting and criminalizing his own citizens as terrorists just because they care to stand up and fight against just because sorry. A prime minister who openly admires the Chinese basic dictatorship, who tramples on the basic rights by persecuting and criminalizing his own citizens as terrorists just because they dare to stand up to his perverted concept of democracy, should not be allowed to speak in this house at all, Ms. Anderson said. And then I think we have her video. Is it this tweet on Twitter? Is there a video? Yes, there is. Okay, here. And this one's
Mr. Trudeau, you are a disgrace for any democracy. Please spare us your presence.
Damn.
I will now give the floor to Ms. Christine Anderson for a point. Thank you. Based on Article 195. out that it would have been more appropriate for Mr. Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, to address this House according to Article 144, an article which was specifically designed to debate violations of human rights, democracy, and the rule of law, which is clearly the case with Mr. Trudeau. Then again, a prime minister who openly admires the Chinese basic dictatorship, who tramples on fundamental rights by persecuting and criminalizing his own citizens as terrorists just because they dared to stand up to his perverted concept of democracy, should not be allowed to speak in this House at all. Mr. Trudeau, you are a disgrace for any democracy. Please spare us your presence. Thank you.
Damn, that woman just. And what happens is I have to make sure that the audio box isn't checked. So yeah, that was Miss Anderson, and she's not wrong. Like when the Germans are calling you out, for your screw ups, that's 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 a bad thing. That's a bad thing. That's a problem. When the Germans are calling you out for your shit, you know you fucked up. Okay? I'm just saying. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. We're going to do one more article and then we're going to end this because I still have to get up and get at least the oldest child off to school tomorrow because the youngest, yeah, he's got a pretty bad cold. And I'm not surprised. Like I was expecting it because, everyone's going unmasked and everything now. So like I'm not surprised that there's going to be more colds and stuff because everyone's been hiding and isolating, and so colds haven't even really been a thing lately. So this is going to be, I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to have more if we're going to have I'm not going to be surprised to see an increase of colds. So he's he's doing all right. It's just a bad congestion. So I'm gonna keep him home. But that's partly why I'm doing this show tonight because I know that he's gonna want to be like, Mommy, I want to be around you. Let's see. All right. So this is a CBC article, a science article. A cannibal is on its way from the sun, but don't panic. You might see the northern lights. What kind of stupid headline is that? That's like saying a flesh-eating virus is going to come and eat off your foot, but don't worry, I'm giving you a diamond ring, so everything's fine. What? My nephew had to go to the hospital for croup. Just a cold got into his just a cold got into his lungs. Poor kid. Oh, croup is awful. That sucks. That's awful. The sun will be quite active over the coming days, with NASA forecasting a strong geomagnetic storm. This means an increased chance of catching the northern lights. Over the past few days, The sun has been alive with a flurry of activity of sunspots spewing out magnetic energy and releases of fast-moving particles. The good news is that for us here on Earth, in particular in Canada, it means a geomagnetic storm and the increased possibility of catching the northern lights. While the sun is always active, it has an 11-year cycle with a minimum and a maximum of activity. During the solar maximum, which we have just begun, more sunspots can be seen across the sun's surface. These sunspots are cooler regions that appear black when seen through solar telescopes, but they are more than just a little black spot on the sun's surface. These regions are an entanglement of magnetic fields that can sometimes erupt with a solar flare. Yep. It's literally like the magnetic fields can get completely tangled up, and it produces so much energy that it can have a coronal mass ejection. And very often they are followed by a coronal mass ejection. It's almost like I've nerded out about this shit. And very often they are followed by a coronal mass ejection, a huge burst of particles that are carried along the solar wind. This image shows us several groups of sunspots across the face of the sun on Wednesday. If Earth is in the path of these charged particles, it can interact with our own magnetic field and with molecules in the upper atmosphere, and then which gives us the northern lights or aurora borealis. Right now, there are 7 groups of sunspots across the face of the sun. On Tuesday, NASA recorded that one of the sunspots released more than 17 flares. Wow. That's a lot of flares. Varying from weak to medium events, and as a result, 2 large CMEs will burst out from the sun, traveling at more than 1,700 kilometers per second. Wow. This NASA animation shows what they refer to as a cannibal coronal mass ejection, an ejection of fast-moving particles from the sun. Weird. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, suggests that the second CME will overtake the first, suggesting that the two will merge together. Oh, wow. Merging to become what will become a single cannibal CME that will arrive on Thursday. So this was last week. At roughly 2 p.m. Oops. All right. But there may be several days of increased activity. But at roughly 2 p.m. ET on Wednesday, the sun released an X-class flare. X flares are the strongest type and are measured on a scale from 1 to 9, but the more powerful ones have been recorded throughout history, as probably the Carrington event. How to see it. It's important to remember that the sun doesn't always play nicely with predictions. However, the CME could arrive earlier or later. It may also not interact as strongly with our magnetic field as they are predicting. But that being said, definitely keep an eye out for the northern lights over the next couple of days. So yeah, the sun, we are in an active solar maximum right now. So we'll probably see some of these cool things happen. Like I said, I nerd out about this shit. So you can see, like I said, coronal mass ejection before they did. So yeah, I love space shit. It's so fun. It also means the power grid is going to be fucked. Good thing we don't use electricity for everything, right? Yeah, exactly. Well, my friends, this has come to the end of this show. Thank you for watching. As I said, I probably won't be able to get one in tomorrow, so that's why I wanted to do one tonight. I will be back on Wednesday with Skep Talk, though, and Friday, of course, will be another coffee stream. Don't forget to come by on Saturday to the Blind Press's Nerd Sanctuary Discord server for 10:30 p.m. Eastern, because I am going to be watching a movie called See For Me, and you guys won't want to miss me reacting to that. I actually recorded a video reacting to the trailer, and that will be posted up soon. So I'll be posting that video pretty soon, so don't miss that. And again, of course, Servant, we will be returning to watch Servant, the 4th and 5th episodes, on the 16th of April. So lots of community stuff happening off stream. If you want to take part in it, please feel free to hit me up if you're not in the server. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night and a good start to your week. Have a great one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.